Face reality, people. Movies are dead. Games are dead. Narrative? Dead.
Media is nothing but neural trigger response and viral conditioning.
Wait, what are you two talking about?
He said no.
Okay, now go. Good.
No, I said I give this movie a solid 6.9.
Okay.
For real?
6.9. You just failed.
I give it a 7.5.
You just failed.
That's closer to what I was saying.
On your scale, is that a good or bad thing, Dubster?
Huh?
On your scale, is that a good or bad thing?
It's a good movie. It's just not like it's basically like you copied a documentary, basically, though.
What? I wouldn't say that at all.
No.
They took some liberties, I would think, here, right?
What are you talking
the
about?
sake
They
of
didn't start a
entertainment.
fire. They didn't start a fire.
We didn't start the fire. But okay, that's like a real photo, I guess. All right. I don't know. That's. I'm just gonna go straight up with the movie because I don't know the real story. I'm sure it's fucking horrible and also inspirational at the same time. Like some crazy shit happened to these dudes, and they fucking survived it somehow, and they lost people and all that shit. And we'll give credit to people. I think people were actually losing weight for these roles, or maybe it was something else. But it looked like people were actually like losing weight in their faces and shit like that, and their bodies, I guess. So okay, I'll give you effort credit for that. But as a movie, I mean, like there's suspension of disbelief, and then there's like taking advantage of it.
Dude, they were like shirtless and shit. Like no one had frostbite that I know of.
Maybe
Did
they
it
did
say
in
it
real,
then?
and
I don't understand the shirtless thing.
They got hit with two
it got really
avalanches.
hot. Okay,
That's impossible. There's still snow on the ground.
it was a heat wave that happened.
He waved. He
Did it
waved
say
from
at
the
the
waist up.
end? Did it say at the end how many days altogether the thing was?
No,
It's 71.
71. Wow.
I thought
too
it was
much.
8,
Okay.
but it said 71 on at the end.
Wow.
Well, they left me with me yelling at the screen like, "Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that? Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you?" They kind of left me with that, and that's the film part. I don't know what the real guys went through, but that's what the movie
Yeah.
did to me. Which
Did it tell us at the end how many people they ate?
oh my god, I don't know. They gave him like in movie like obituaries, right? Like in movie obituaries.
Right.
Oh, John was whatever 21 years old. He died on, October 39th. Made up date.
So the plane only had 45 people and 27. I think 27 still alive, or no, maybe less.
That would have to be less, right? If there's 3 guys that were outside of these dudes right here, that's definitely not 30 or whatever, or 27, right? That's like 17 or something. I don't know. Or maybe there's more people that we just don't hear about.
The military reached the crash site, but only were able to airlift 6 out of 14 passengers due to bad weather.
Yeah.
The rest of them were picked up the next day. So total was 14 passengers.
Okay.
And then the 2 that walked.
Well, yeah.
Is that
probably.
So 16 altogether?
There was 3 that walked, wasn't there? And
No.
one went a
two.
different direction. Or one maybe
No, he
one
turned around.
one went
He
one went back.
turned around and came back.
One went back.
Yeah, he
Okay.
came back.
Kevin.
Well, there's some like for me, I sort of like I wish it would have been more of a as dramatic as it was. I would have wished for more focus on the dramatization than the 127 hours survival thing. You're like, oh fuck, I'm James Franco. I gotta like cut my wrist open and make a rope out of it. Take my veins out, make a rope out of it, and climb out of this fucking cave thing I'm stuck in. Like less that more because otherwise then I have to focus on things like why are they smoking cigarettes in every fucking scene, but no one's built a fire. I have to ask questions like that, and like I don't know, it kind of like ruins it.
Look, so if you smoke enough cigarettes, you put a cloud over your head.
Oh,
So-
got
so
it.
You can change the atmosphere
Got it.
in 2.5 months.
Got it.
They had a plan, man. There's a plan.
Well, see, they caused their avalanche by smoking so much. It just,
Yeah, they were.
it
They were
was melting the snow,
terraforming.
and then it just, fell
They
on
were
them.
terraforming.
Yeah, like even like it was less about the like. Imagine the dude who was a narrator, right? To where he gets the cut on his ankle, and it's like okay, he ends up dying from that infection, right? And it's like it was like less focus on like the drama of that thing of like things like that, to where it's like we're stuck in a we're gonna die scenario, and more focused on
How the
seemingly
fuck do you-
focused on like I don't know like they're like survival tactic things. And when
How do you
God
how do you die from an infection when you have ice and water everywhere?
and alcohol. They had plenty of alcohol as well.
It's like you
And they
keep
had
the wound
fire.
clean
They had fire too.
with ice and water and alcohol.
They could have soaked one of the scraps of clothing in alcohol, wrapped that shit around there.
But as soon as they zoomed in on that cut, they told us it was going to be an infection.
Well, I thought he would have lived because he's a narrator, and I think he's on on some of the cover art of the thing. So I'm like, okay, I guess this guy lives. But I guess he's like, maybe they were trying to trick us to make it like that. That's another thing that I'm talking about, where you're like, it's less about, hey man, some guys really went out here, like this actually happened type shit. It felt less like that and more of a like a for your entertainment type shit. Which is why you would make him the narrator, like, oh, I bet you never thought I would have died, but I did die. Like, and I'm narrating right now. It's like they did that shit. And it's like, come on, man.
If they filmed it in English, I give another 5/10 of a point.
Shut up. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I think there's better survival movie. I think the James Franco shit is a better movie than this as a movie.
The 127 hours.
Yeah. I think that was more interesting. Because maybe it's because he's by himself. So he's like trapped with his own thoughts as much as he's trapped in a fucking crevice or whatever the fuck.
I wonder if they ever made a Donner Party movie.
Who's that?
The Dahmer Party.
What's that?
They basically did this in America in the settlers' times. They were in Colorado, and they ended up eating some of their group because they got lost and stuck in the mountains in the Colorados. They
Jesus.
had like 70 people, and they only like 20 or something survived it.
Jesus. Well, all right. I'm just gonna rate this on the genre it's in, which is like, let's be honest, guys. This isn't like some special version of dramatic events, like trying to portray the pain and anguish of what, like, I guess they are trying, but it's only done in the sense of physical phenomena of freezing to death, starving to death, dehydrating to death,
Crushed to death.
crushed to death, killed by airplane type shit. So like it's gonna fit in the category of straight up disaster movie type thing, instead of, which I think would be a better version, would be something where it's a lot more focused on the human experience. Like, man, what the fuck would that actually be like? They're just taking your emotions and using them in a way against you by saying, "Hey, imagine if you got trapped by snow like this." Then you can use your own emotions and fill in the blanks for them, instead of them like trying to show me what that experience would be like for a human. They kind of like trick us with that shit. Just like
Survival. Survival.
Day After
lesson
Tomorrow,
number one.
just like all these other disaster type of movies. So I will judge it on a disaster movie scale. I will give it like a 7. A 7. For the genre they're trying to play out, a 7. That's what I got.
Survival lesson number one: bring a lot of cigarettes if you get on a plane.
Every other scene, bro. These kids are smoking and shit. It's like, holy fuck. And then they kind of minimize, like, once again, I don't know the real story, but it feels like they minimize what actually happened, because once again, I'm watching the movie like, yo, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? I think you were saying like they should have immediately started walking towards like any type of civilization or just better vantage position, right? Anything they can get, like, improve their positioning where they're at. But they're like, nah, fuck that. And they end up doing it anyways, except 30 days later or whatever.
No,
So-
it was
61 days.
60 days. 61 days later.
whatever. They ended up doing the same thing with less food intake, less calories, less people,
Less people
less
alive.
people.
More food intake.
No, I'm saying like, well, all right. Go with the eating the people.
People. So they say when you're in a survival situation, you do one of two things: you hunker down or you keep moving. And I get why they would hunker down, because it would be brutal up there. But that hunkering down ain't gonna do shit for you.
Well, they got the radio
Well,
call that it was
You
over.
do expect them like to try to rescue them, at least until that day 10 when they found out they quit. You expect like, hey, somebody's coming for you.
Yeah.
But as soon as they quit,
Dude.
you should be marching, right?
But
To be one
wasn't
of
it
those
day
guys
7
that's-
with the eating the? When were they eating bodies?
Yeah, it's like 7 or 8.
They were eating before that.
Are they
Before the radio
talking
call came in, they were eating people.
No, I think they were talking about it. Day 7. I don't know. How quickly
Okay,
it's-
okay. Maybe they were considering it. It's like, wow. They made it seem like I said, just from the audience, like yelling at it, like you haven't exhausted all your options here. The movie didn't show me all the options being exhausted to where then you have to
Yeah.
you have to eat someone. And I'm guessing the real life story was probably a lot more like, where it's like, fuck, we are fucked, and this is a type of
Yeah.
I didn't get that from the movie feeling. Like I didn't get that feeling from the movie.
It's like they jumped at it at the first. This is the first idea.
Yeah. And especially the cigarette thing was just like seeing that shit every other scene. It's like, come on.
Well, hold on. If they were gonna hunker down, they should have emphasized that the people that were injured but still alive were like begging them to stay and not go, because someone would have come up with the idea of, well, at least somebody needs to go to find something.
Good.
Like that's a big part of it. Like they didn't show that at all. They didn't say, no, don't leave us, because it'd be like the conditioning of staying together is the way to
Mhm.
survive
Yeah.
versus venturing off. And they didn't highlight that at all. They showed them hug, and then that was it.
Yeah. Yeah. You guys are both
Hug and part.
about like the missing, like human connection. Like, yeah, they're. I think you're right, Jordan, about the like the emphasis on like the action uh of the disaster. Yeah, that's true. But there, I mean, there you see some camaraderie. You know, they're friends and they're teammates, but you don't see the struggle between them. I mean, other than when they're dying, right? When they're dying, you're like, okay, they show that. But like, I would picture like what you're just describing right now, or even like meticulous tracking of the rationing of the food, right? Like, okay, we have this much. Like day by day, you should be like
Yeah.
knowing, and like that brings you to a conclusion. It's like, okay, we're running out. You know, that takes you there. But you
Yeah,
had nothing.
like put it out on one of those suitcases like it's a dinner table and say, okay, there's 17 of us or 20 something of us, and this is how much food we have.
Like, you need that.
That never happened.
Not in the movie. It didn't.
Let me tell you what the feeling I get is that these guys were in the writer's room gleefully talking about the scenes where humans are eating other humans. That's what I'm talking about. Where it's like,
they couldn't wait to
this,
get to that point.
This is going to be juicy. The audience is going to be like, oh my God, they're going to freak out. Oh my God, I can't wait till we start showing them when they start eating other people. Like, it seemed like that, like, that's what I mean by, like, disaster movie shit. Like, oh, when Bobby gets the fucking sores on his back and he's like, you know, about to die and shit. He's like, he's fucked up. He's about to die. Like, imagine the audience having to see that. It's crazy. Yeah, I can't wait to put that in the movie. Yeah. Like, really? Like, give me more. I'm sorry. I'm a strict judge. It's like, but that's what it seemed like they were doing instead of something else.
I agree that most of the film felt like that, but there was that one moment when they actually started.
Yeah,
it was a scene that you said you liked from.
It looked beautiful.
Because the view from the window from the inside. So like you know what's happening, but you don't see it. It was kind of good.
You're getting both sensations. You're hearing the people inside who are unwilling to eat other people, like their friends and shit like that. They're unwilling to eat them. And you can hear them praying or talking to each other or whatever, or just shivering. You can hear their audio. But this guy, the one guy, the narrator, right, him solo, like looking out the window and seeing the horrors of that's happening outside the fucking plane. Right. At that point, I think that's fucking. That was a beautiful shot to me.
Yeah, and they were what he was seeing. It was also their backs too, right? It was like, it's like you're seeing, but not like zoomed in on like gory details.
Yeah,
good.
It's like, you know what's happening out there. I think everyone in the plane knows it, but he's the one who's looking. He's inside with the people who refuse to do it, while also actually seeing these guys do it. And he's the only one, so we can hear what he's hearing and see what he's seeing. I thought that was a cool cinematic moment in the movie, as gruesome as that idea is, considering it's based on real life. But
and then what? Full socialism death.
Not enough of that shit, because that's like, let's be honest. That's if you were in that situation. Let's say you're one of the people who are in that plane, and you refuse to eat, the other people. You're hearing what's going on inside the plane, and then let's say you just take a peek of what they're doing out there, whatever reason, curiosity, or even if the character's like, I secretly, I like, fuck, I'm so hungry, I want to be out there with them, but I'm gonna stay with these guys in here. Whatever the scenario is, like it actually gives you a sense of, in my opinion, a sense of realism to it, because it's not gonna be dun 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 while they're eating like a body, like that's trash, right? That'd be like
not Yellow Jackets.
There's no orchestra playing while you're watching, cannibalism.
Bro, I think Yellow Jackets had more fucking human interaction than these guys did.
a lot
when they
more,
were
but
out.
their cannibalism scene was ridiculous. Right
It
there.
was.
It's
Just
a
so
little,
was.
well, they add supernatural and weird shit in there. I think with Yellow Jackets, these guys are trying to be straightforward, but they just come off as a disaster movie, and it is what it is. It is what it is. I even brought up like Saving Private Ryan while we were watching this a couple times, where it's like it's the heartstring pullers of like they're using the audience to fill in the blanks of what they're supposed to be writing in my opinion. Towards like, hey, you see this guy? We got to cut his leg off. No, don't cut my leg off. No, mommy, no. And they cut the fucking leg off, type shit. That's it. That didn't happen in the movie. I'm just saying, like, that's like an example towards they're using you, the audience, to fill in the blanks where I think there should be something that's a little bit more
Yo,
like
so
written
it's
in instead
so
of
to
just
to
visual
expand
type.
to expand on that thought, Jordan. Wouldn't you say like for example, like there's like like totally different way I'm gonna characterize it, but Nolan when fucking Leo spins the top at the end of Inception,
Mm-hmm.
that's like you're left guessing to your own interpretation, right? You would agree with that statement.
Yes.
So then like that's the good leave it to your interpretation, and then like there's like plot holes and shit where they like like you're saying you're gonna leave it to interpretation of the watcher of the fucking movie, but it's like the same concept but executed differently, or it's not even executed. It's fucking like you're saying there. It's almost like an audible. Like we're gonna put this in here, and then you're gonna or let you fucking make it a good idea for us.
But I mean something different. I don't mean like it. Yes, I guess they're kind of living up in living up to interpretation, but it's not that exactly. They expect
No,
a
no,
certain
no.
reaction to seeing
That's what I'm saying. No,
main
no. It's
characters'
all
leg cut off or whatever. Like,
or like, or fuck, dude. It's like what you were saying. I'm just trying to like interpret it like that. Like they're trying to say, leave it open ended to like you're saying, play on heartstrings.
yeah,
But it's like, but it comes off as nonsensical if you really think about what they did there.
yeah, and this what, yeah,
But you'll hear dipshits say, "Nah, well, you got to use your own imagination."
Dude, you should.
come on, they're
Dude, I've heard
clearly.
dipshits say this. I've heard this.
Dude,
I'm just
if you
saying.
build up the sweetheart next door character girl, right, and then you have a car hitter, right, that's clearly them trying to make you feel sad for that moment because they built them up as the heartwarming, loving character. They want you to
I
feel
gotta be
shitty
honest,
now,
bro.
just like
I
this
gotta,
movie with
yeah.
when they cut someone's leg off or whatever the fuck.
But I gotta be honest, bro. Like, and I've been there, bro. That's how most people think. That most people aren't thinking deeper than that about a scene like that.
I know.
They
That's
don't.
why I gave it a 7. Like it's not the worst thing ever. Like it's gonna work for couples that are like, oh my god, John, did you see that one scene? Oh my god, he had scabs all over his back. Oh
So
my god, did you
dipshit,
see that? Oh, I get that. I understand. That's his genre.
a dipshit like Chris Stuckman will like.
I wish,
Yeah.
Anthony, I wish you didn't pass out last night and you saw Apocalypse Now all the way through.
I was
From
thinking
what
about
you're saying, from
Very
what you're
kooky
saying
movie.
right now.
All right, let's end this. So we got a 7.5 from Dubster. We got a 6.9 from Anthony. Jesse, do you recommend? Yeah, at the 7.1. It's 7 for me. Do you have I know you don't give scores. Do you have a recommendation, Jesse? Do you recommend this?
So, yeah, I think for any like I go into this film already kind of having a preference because of the a history of it, and I think anybody who hasn't like
Yeah.
heard the story or isn't familiar with it, it's definitely good to know about it, and so I start out like positively biased to it. They do a lot of weird things in this film with like the shirtless things and endless smoking and the way that they kind of communicate the transitions into the steps that they take. They don't feel fully natural, but I still think it's a good story to like watch and know about. I kind of want to rewatch Alive because it's been
Yeah.
so long, and I can't remember all the details, but yeah, I would definitely say to watch it for the story if you're not familiar.
Would you recommend watching Bricklayer over this?
That also was a reason why I was additionally positively biased with such a horrible film. It was like, like that contrast was like I
They
went
both
into this one.
they both came out this weekend, right?
No, I saw this on the list for a little bit, probably for the past week.
Oh, okay.
Society of Snow. I've seen that. Bricklayer, I think it's brand new for me. Yeah, don't watch that shit.
Like we just
skip that
all
one.
aborted that film.
Yeah, skip that one. I think naturalness is a good word to use because once again, preying off of us as humans, our naturalness towards like, oh my god, look at like, imagine being in there like that, to where you like just up the ante of crazy shit happening, to where the characters actually act stupid for the sake of more crazy shit happening. It's like, man, imagine that. That's using our naturalness against us instead of showcasing that in a movie. That's just my opinion from distance. So, but I guess if you got nothing to watch, or even if you're like a stereotypical, like a couple or something, you're like, fuck, let's watch something that where, my girl's grabbing my arm while we're watching it. She's like, oh my god, did you see that? Oh. But yeah, I say watch this movie. Or, I guess, well, if you want to learn more about it, there's probably documentaries. I'd probably go there over this movie. Or even that older movie that I haven't seen, Alive, 1993. 93, I think. Yeah, 93.
Life lesson.
Maybe give that a chance. What's up?
I got life lesson. Life lesson number 2. Don't go south of the border.
And there you have it. That's our review for.
South of the border.
That's our review for.
I disconnected too.
I mean, wait, when you say south of the border, what American is expecting snow? Like, stop it. So, all right, there's our.
No, I just mean the American border. Don't go south of it. It's dangerous down there.
Got it. All right, there's our review for a Society of Snow. Is that what it's called? Society of the Snow. There you go. All right.